Hello and welcome, my soul tribe. For the 5th of January, I thought we would do some soul messages, and I do have some decks here that I will show you I'm working with. We have the Soul Truth Self-Awareness card deck by Brianne Hovey. We have the Wisdom of the Oracle by Colette Baron-Reid, and we have the Soul's Journey Lesson cards by James Van Praagh. Okay, so we're just going to, I've already pulled some messages here, and I have to say in the Soul's Journey deck, this popped out from another one of Colette Baron-Reid's Oracle decks. So Let It Shine with the Peacock Spirit. So that had been hiding in that deck for I don't know how long, but I think this is the Spirit Animal Oracle deck. So how interesting is that? So let's go ahead and get into this. So for the 5th of January, we're looking into change. 5 is a number of change. So let's see. Starting out, we have, am I letting fear stop me? Are you experiencing a mountain of fear right now? Are you stalling, freezing, or giving up? The juicy secret is that you are the boss of fear. You are unstoppable, but it's up to you to see that by taking action. Today's soul action is to be brave and do it scared. Choose one fear and move through it. You are in need of a hero, so that is who you will become. Okay, so when I read that message, what is coming to mind right away here is that, you are a leader, okay? You are a healer. You are ascending, obviously, since these shifts and changes are happening, but there's also this sense of you're going to be inspiring others too with that card. So take that if it resonates, release it if it doesn't. We have, what do I resist feeling right now? We have to feel it to heal it. In order to let go of pain, we first must honor its existence. Emotions are like waves. Some are soft, some are fierce, some are layered, and some sweep you off your feet. When we allow ourselves to feel it all, we can then release what no longer serves us, okay? Today's soul action, allow yourself to feel this wave and let it move through you. Then release it back into the ocean. Feel it, heal it, enjoy the sweet freedom within your soul. So instead of holding on and gripping to the emotions, because our emotions are messengers, they're not meant to stay, right? Think about, a wave of energy and how energy moves, and let it just move through you. And when you release it back into the ocean, you release it back into the universe rather than holding on to it and attaching to it. Okay, our emotions also let us know kind of what we're moving through, what's going on, but they're not always our truth, right? They are giving us information, right? But that our emotions shift and change, quite a bit. So this is basically about releasing and letting go of what doesn't serve you. And you could even apply that to other people's energy. That's something that I do, is that when I feel I've taken on someone else's energy, I just take a moment to ground and pause. And I say, any energy that's not mine, I release back to the universe to be transmuted to love and light, or release back to source to be transmuted to love and light. So you could apply it that way as well, as more of like an energy clearing. But by not attaching and holding on to it and just letting it move, move through you is really helpful, because then you kind of can remain in your balance and in your harmony, and you're not carrying that with you or prolonging that, right? We also have, am I focused on what I am losing or gaining? So this is really interesting that these cards are coming out in the beginning of the year. Are you going through some change? Are you scared to let go because of what you might lose? What if you shifted your focus from what you might lose to what you might gain? Endings are actually beginnings. Today's soul action. Today, make a list of all the things you will gain from the change you are going through. Feel your heart, take a breath, and deepen into trust. Amazing things are coming. So there's a little bit of like affirmations here, but this is, could be some things that you're holding on to an old timeline, or you're holding on that are no longer healthy for you. So this would be for those of you that know you're ready for change, right? And you're ready to move forward and shift and start co-creating a new timeline for yourself. Okay? So, 1, 2, or 3 all may apply. Just, take one, which one resonates. If there's one particular message that resonates, feel free to drop that in the comments. Interestingly enough, with our soul lessons, our soul journey messages, we have relationships. I'm attracted to those people who serve my higher good. Okay, so that's a great intention to set at the beginning of the year, especially when we meet new people, right? And create space for new energy to come into our experience, and how that interconnectedness and being around those that are, well, many that are like on, the same path that we're walking, or at least they are ascending, they are raising their consciousness, they are walking their sacred journeys. They bring to the table a different energy, a different frequency, right, than what we're used to. So you kind of do want to set that bar high for especially the new energies that are going to be coming into your experience, helping you to create your reality, helping you to create your timeline, moving forward, right? And so there's like these partnerships that seem to be developing and seem to be ascending in the beginning of January. We also have indecision. I use my intuition in all aspects of my life. So yes, of course, we have, our senses. We can see, hear, taste, smell, touch, right? But we also have our intuitive senses, which take it to another level, our clairabilities, where we can, sometimes see things through our third eye, right? We can see energies, we can see auras, we can dream about certain things. We receive those extra messages, right? Sometimes visions. And so making sure that whatever your strength is in your clairabilities, that's something you're also taking into consideration, right? Because let's say you're going to make a decision and someone's in front of you and they're presenting this offer to you and it all looks great. It looks wonderful. But then you feel this pinging in your stomach. You feel something happening within your body that is not in agreement with what is being shared, right? Make sure that you don't dismiss those little messages from your body, those messengers that are like, hey, maybe let's slow this down. Let's ask more questions. Let's look a little bit deeper into this. So you're not rushing, right? So this is a reminder to also go within. Obviously look and see what's showing up for you, but also go within and bring that information forward when you're making decisions, at this time, and to remember your intuition, to not dismiss it, right? We have it for a very good reason, right? We also have happiness. I am aware that being happy means that I am on the right path. Now, sometimes we do meet resistance in our experiences, right? And sometimes resistance happens before we shift to a higher timeline because we have to clear out the lower density. So when you are in alignment, when you're vibrating at a high frequency, things do seem to shift and go your way. Things seem to it's like the universe kind of aligns things in your favor, right? But know too that when you are making changes, you're shifting to a higher timeline, you will meet some resistance sometimes. You will meet some challenges, right? Because part of that is your ego wanting to protect you, okay? Part of that is the energy, again, needing to release and shift, and to go through that change within your frequency. But there's also a message here of, if something is not for you and all you're getting is resistance, and it looks like the universe is doing everything it can possibly to keep you from a certain path, a certain person, that it may be basically that path or that person is not in alignment with your frequency, right? Or with what you're creating and building. And it's not saying that maybe they're, it's not a message of like forever they're not maybe aligned, but just at that moment when there's a lot of frequency. So paying attention to when things are smoothly like working out. And I am feeling a lot of shifts, especially with career, of many this year shifting or leaning more into work that they love to do, right? Or even passion projects that they love to do. So there is this happiness and this flow and this forward movement, but there's also this message here of, just like with a current, right? Sometimes, yes, we do have a little bit of resistance and then we move through. But other times it can be protection, right? Protection from a bad timing or situation. Remember, rejection is either redirection or protection. So keep that in mind as well. Pay attention to the themes, okay? Because if there is a ton of resistance and it just keeps happening, that can sometimes be the reason, is that you are being protected. But when you're in alignment and when you're on a higher frequency, a higher timeline, you do kind of seem to glide through things a little bit more in your experience. It feels more magical. It feels like things are working out for you. It feels like you can instantly manifest. Okay. One of the ways that I do this, and I've shared this with my Patreon group, is before I get up in the morning, I say, I am so grateful that I'm aligned with XYZ today and that this happened and this is the way I'm feeling. And I do that before I even get out of bed. And I find often that's the way things go in my day, right? When and I don't put a heaviness on it. I just kind of say it very lightly and declare it to the universe. Either, usually in my mind, I don't say it out loud. Sometimes you can though, of course. And then that's the way the alignment kind of flows. So this is about your alignment and your flow, and also paying attention to the external forces that are in your life, the universe, the cosmos, and are you going with the flow sometimes when you're called to, or do you feel like you're out of alignment, right? Is there something you can shift, change, adjust? Is there a timing that's off? Is there a person that's not quite aligned with you? So it's all this, paying attention, being mindful, and quite sensitive, to what you are feeling, experiencing, and noticing with like the patterns, the synchronicities, things like that, right? So this card's rather deep, even though it seems quite light, because it's like, oh, happiness means I'm on the right path. Yes, our happiness is great. And we are our most powerful when we're in a high frequency energy, or when we're creating from like joy or a high frequency energy, right? It's almost like we create this vortex around us. We can transmute and alchemize so much of our experience, and people feel that within our energy field too. But yes, that happiness energy is important, and that frequency is important, and lets us know when we're in alignment, out of alignment, or sometimes when we're shifting, to another timeline, right? And then, of course, bottom of the deck, we have new life. And this is what we're kind of slowly stretching into. This is stretching out of your comfort zone. She has obviously, hatched from that egg. She's on a new platform. So many of you are going to be creating a new timeline. This year, I already spoke about, like, obviously we're still in winter time, and it's best to, in my opinion, it's up to you, right? To move with the seasons, okay? And move with the cosmos that it is to move with. Oh my gosh, it's January. It's a brand new year, and now we have to change everything real quick right now. New Year's resolutions, all that stuff. If you're on that track and that works for you, that works for you. I just noticed this past year, in previous years, I have dropped more into my feminine energy and connected in with the rhythms of more of the cosmos and the earth and the weather changing patterns. And I have found it's more you going with the waves of energy rather than going against them. So it just makes life a little bit more easy, natural, and helps you connect and almost bond more with the seasons. And so this is a slow stretching into a new timeline. This is not rushed. She's not popping out of that egg and taking off, right? Right away with her wings stretched. She's slowly, has been hatching from this egg, and this could be a new energy, right? This could be your cocoon that you have been in maybe last year. A lot of people, myself included, things did not, it felt like opportunities, it wasn't the right time, or there was some sort of delay or something like that, right? And that was a theme for many people. But you were in a cocoon, right? You were in a cocoon, you were developing, things were shifting and changing, and there was, change is messy, right? Change is uncomfortable. And many of you were going through that, but in, the 5th of January, you're starting to see more of this new life energy, new frequency energy, new projects being born, a new self, really. Like, there's even a sense of her releasing from that egg, like old conditioning, old, energy that no longer serves her. Even like a container that somebody put her in, right? That she has expanded beyond because she's really stretching out of her comfort zone. So this card kind of encapsulates all, right? All of these cards and all of these messages for the 5th of January. of we are really starting to create the new, and it starts within us first, and our frequency and our belief systems and the way we're co-creating and working with our magic, right? And she's on this very steady, strong foundation here. And so many of you, again, have put in a lot of that work this past year, and now you're starting to stretch into this new energy, this new experience, this new timeline, this new life. And it's really beautiful to see this energy coming through. And I am going to read this from the book as well. Here we go. Birth of new ideas, growth opportunities, a breath of fresh air, life renewing itself. When spring awakens, the world, joy, and excitement can be felt all around and in our very core. Blossoms burst from trees overnight, birds return home and sing their glorious song. And nature is full of promise. Miracles beckon all of us. This is one of those times in your life when new ideas inspire you and new opportunities bring you hope for seeing your dreams come true. All is well in your world, and you have the energy you need to feel renewed. Allow your heart to fill with enthusiasm. Let your light shine, for this is a time of good fortune. For the relationship message, we have new energy enters old relationships, and new relationships are bursting with sweetness and vibrancy, only encountered when winter gives way to spring. This is a time to connect with others and share excitement, passion, and hearts full of joy. This card is a very auspicious sign with respect to love and partnerships in all forms. The prosperity message is you have every reason to be optimistic right now as things seem to fall into place magically. New opportunities remind you that abundance is available to you. Delight in the bounty that begins to appear in surprising forms. Stay curious and know that your hopes and dreams are being fulfilled. It's as if now new life suddenly infuses your projects, work, and creative ideas with a kind of electricity that crackles with exciting potential. Fortune is smiling on you. So all of these cards are pretty much building to this, right? And everybody has their own time to bloom, their own rhythms to navigate, right? And so this is the energy, and perhaps something will come to fruition, whether it's a relationship, whether it's a dream, a plan you've been focusing on, whether it's, this higher timeline by springtime, right? Like I said, it's a slow process. It's a gentle process, which is great because slowness can be confidence, right? When we move quickly, that's more out of fear. When we move slowly, there's more a grounded, centered, harmonious balance and confidence that we have, right? So it's okay to take it slow. It's okay to not rush forward into New Year's resolutions and all these fast changes. Make little adjustments, okay? Stretch slowly out of your comfort zone and into this new life and experience. So thank you so much for being here. I hope that you enjoyed this reading and these messages. If you did, let me know. Take the best care of yourself, and I will see you soon.